Good afternoon. It is approximately 5:35 p.m. on Tuesday, November 18th, and I'd like to call the Building Committee meeting to order. First up, we'll have roll call. Cindy Liendo, Chair, present.
Victoria Martinez, present.
Karina Cari Elizondo, absent. Adriana Alexander, absent. Also with us today, we have our board president, Esteban Rangel. Thank you for being here. The first item on the agenda is item number 3, presentation of the 2026-2036 Laredo College Facilities Master Plan. Mr. Cesar Vela will be presenting. For the record, I'd like to mention that Ms. Tita Vela is present.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the Building Committee, Dr. Ramirez. For the record, Cesar Vela, Vice President of Finance and Administration. Tonight, we'll be making a presentation on the 2026-2036 Facilities Master Plan for Laredo College. The purpose is to formally adopt the Facilities Master Plan at tomorrow night's board meeting. The Facilities Master Plan will provide a comprehensive roadmap for facility improvements, modernization, and expansion at both the Fort McIntosh and South campuses. The plan aligns with the college's strategic goals of student success, sustainability, fiscal responsibility, and community engagement. The plan was developed through a collaborative process involving data collection, assessment, prioritization, and community engagement. O'Connell Robertson, an architecture and engineering firm with over 50 years of experience in higher education design, led the planning process in close coordination with college leadership, faculty, staff, students, and community stakeholders. Tonight, we do have Mr. Danny Cornejo, principal with O'Connell Robertson, and Ms. Diana Bravo, ed practice leader, who will be presenting the plan for the Facilities Master Plan for 2026 to 2036. Mr. Cornejo.
Thank you, Mr. Vela, for that introduction. Good evening, board, building committee, Mr. President, Dr. Ramirez. Thank you all so much. On behalf of Deanna, myself, and O'Connell Robertson, we want to thank you all for having us here today, and really thank you all for the last year and a half of amazing opportunities to understand Laredo College, understand the vision, the goals, and ultimately providing this master plan for you all. Before I jump into anything else, I definitely want to say it could not have been done without the great leadership of the faculty, staff, and administration. It took many, many countless hours, meetings, conversations to really put this together for the campus, and we couldn't have done it without each and every single one of you all. Just quickly, as Mr. Vela mentioned, O'Connell Robertson, we're celebrating our 75 years of continuous business right here in the state of Texas. We have offices in San Antonio, Austin, and Houston, and ultimately specializing in education, planning, and design. We've been doing that in education for over 50 years with a simple mission, and that's our mission-driven approach, is to ultimately understand our clients' goals, wishes, and visions, and adopt those. And so that every decision we make when it comes to design and planning is with that vision in mind. As we mentioned, we had the opportunity to stand in front of your faculty and staff in the 2024 convocation, where we asked a simple question to the group. What is the highest hopes? We had an amazing turnout of people kind of mentioning what they believed in. But as you see, there's a few words here that I want you all to keep in mind as we go through this presentation. And that's the words modernization, success, safety, student growth, and technology. You're going to see some of those continue to pop up. But even back then in 2024, before we started this process, your faculty and staff understood the needs and goals and started to give us a great roadmap of where we needed to start. We talked about the master planning process and the steps throughout the master planning process, and we're going to go through each of these here in a little bit more detail. But what I really wanted to showcase is that right here toward the end, as we're talking about in this execution phase that we're in, we did have the opportunity to also present at this year's convocation, give an update there. We've had opportunities to have town halls where we had individuals from the community come in, ask questions, talk to us a little bit about what they've heard, what they've seen, and for us to give some feedback there. Ultimately leading to tomorrow night where we get to present to the board to hopefully for the adoption of the master plan. It all starts with the visioning. And part of the visioning is the opportunity to bring in key stakeholders, not only from the faculty, staff, but from the community as well. Bring in those key stakeholders to help develop a vision, a shared vision. Those that align, as Mr. Villa said, with your strategic plan to create these guiding principles. It was a very collaborative effort with individuals to understand what those things were, talk to them about what they're wanting to see over the next 10 years, how we're developing Laredo College into the future, and ultimately providing opportunities to learn from each other, get people's perspectives on what is important to them, how does it add to the whole, and ultimately provide some opportunities for us to create what we call our guiding principles. And these guiding principles helped us build the foundation of every step moving forward. We asked the group, what makes Laredo College unique? And as you can see here, there's some really great words that were used, adjectives that were presented, and opportunities for us to build upon each of these as we move throughout the process. So really thankful for those that put in that time and effort in the visioning section of this, because it really helped us provide the sort of the cornerstone for what we were coming up to next. With that, I want to pass it over to Deanna to talk to you a little bit more about the rest of the master plan.
Thank you, Danny, and good evening, everyone. As Danny mentioned, I'm going to walk you through the rest of our process. So we started with a great foundation with that visioning exercise, but we had to validate some of the existing conditions for the project, for the college itself, and that's where the next steps came in. Our next step is our data collection step. And this is a critical step because we have to make informed decisions as we're going through this process. And this part of the step really focuses in simple terms on your people and your program. We're trying to understand the demographics, your enrollment projections, analyze the labor market specific to Laredo College to make sure that the college is aligned with that and you're able to serve your community well. So some of the items that we analyze, I'm going to briefly touch on them. Enrollment projections is the first one that I want to touch on. You see a dip on the middle of the chart there. That's COVID. We're all familiar with it. I think it not only affected the education industry, but all industries. It affected how we see life now, right? Everything different. But we can also say that there's been steady growth after, and we've come back from that strong. The next assessment that was done, it's a two-part assessment. It's called utilization and fill. And utilization really looks at how many times during a specific day of the week or time of the week a space was utilized. And fill looks at when the space was utilized, how successful were we in filling out the space. So in general terms, we identified that the utilization was maybe not ideal, but the fill was done great. So that really means that your scheduling efforts and everything were done in alignment with your academic programs. Another opportunity that we looked at was that labor market analysis to really try to align some of the projects and efforts that we're identifying as part of this master plan to align with that. To not surprise to anyone, right? Texas is becoming that workforce development go-to place. So a lot of those items that were identified are aligned with that, and making sure that you're then focusing on high-wage, high-demand type programs for your students, current and future students. So as we wrap up this data collection phase, we had one global understanding. This is really a reinvestment need, reinvestment on your facilities as we're supporting the next 10 years of Laredo College. So the counterpart to data collection is our third step. So now we understand your people and your program, but we also needed to understand the facilities. And this is where this assessment comes in. This really focuses in looking at the campuses themselves. We start at a site level. We looked at your site from a drainage standpoint, from a traffic standpoint. We also looked at your buildings, your facility structure, condition of the building envelope, accessibility or code alignment. So we specifically looked at those things as we're trying to make informed decisions. I will say that we identified 4 particular buildings that we knew are the buildings that are highly utilized by a lot of the students, regardless of the program. To no surprise, these are either student centers, gymnasiums, libraries. These are the spaces that students use the most and that are in need for some modernization. So we specifically focused in here at Fourth Macintosh in 2 particular buildings: Kaysen Student Center, the Maravillo Gymnasium, and then at South Campus, we focused on Bailey Hall Student Center and Safrarini Library as well. So we created a specific 6 reports that go through those different topics, right? The site, the drainage. We also did, I forgot to mention, we did look at the technology, safety and security within the campuses as well. And we had an opportunity to assess those. So really, as we move then into this 4th step, we are able to make informed decisions with a needs-based approach. So this step is really where we grab all those needs and we start creating budgets, identify potential projects, look at the timeline, and that critical path to really achieve those as those needs are aligned. And that's really what we looked at in this priority step. To be able to identify the projects rather than saying we believe this is a need or this is a need, we had to develop focus goals. And those focus goals really allowed us to identify whether those projects that we were proposing aligned all the way back to the guiding principles that Danny was talking about. So on the screen, you'll see some of those primary focus goals that we identified. Programs was a big focus. Your career pathways, where it is providing new opportunities for those or expanding existing ones to support the labor market. Technology and Wi-Fi, safety, security, and access control, like I said, was something that we looked at in detail. Your deferred or building maintenance, and then student empowerment. Improvements in parking and circulation in your outdoor spaces. So I'm going to talk about now specific proposed projects per campus. So I'll start with the programs or projects that were identified across both campuses. So from a security and technology standpoint, we identified the need for access control and just network infrastructure improvements to support that as well. We know those 2 go hand in hand, right? In order for access control to operate efficiently, you need the infrastructure to support that. Central plant improvements was another one that was identified as a need for both. This is something that happens often, right? We have the need for more in growth and modernization, and systems get more complicated over time and require more of everything. And you need to make sure that your infrastructure keeps up with those needs and it's able to support your operations. Landscape improvement was another component that we identified. And this doesn't necessarily just talks about beautification of landscape, but really we focused a lot on safety, student safety, right? Because we know the weather is extreme in Laredo, right? And making sure that students, faculty, staff are safe as they're traveling from one building to another, that they have an opportunity to have shaded structures as they're waiting to be picked up or as they're dropped off. So really we looked at it more holistically than just thinking of landscape improvements per se. We also look at wayfinding and site branding. We looked at this in depth and thinking about, you want to know you are in a Laredo College campus the moment you enter the campus or as you're approaching the campus, and what opportunities do we have to do that on both campuses and make sure that that's equitable on both. As I go into the specifics of each campus, I'll touch on Fort Macintosh first. These are some of the proposed projects that were identified. And just for general awareness, when I mention modernization at the end of these, we're really talking about tackling some of the items that were identified in the assessment. So it's addressing roof issues, it's addressing building envelope issues, finish upgrades, technology improvements, really bringing up the building to the current standards of a building facility. So the first one is the Cigarroa Science Complex. It's identified as a modernization project. The Kaysen Student Center, as I mentioned, identified in our assessment as a modernization opportunity. For the Lerma Peña building, we discussed for the records keeping, making sure that the environment for that space is built to be able to secure some of the documents that are in that space. Maravillo Gym or gymnasium, we talked about similarly through the assessment, we identified modernization needs. For the Memorial Hall, similarly opportunities for modernization. And then the next one is the P1 building. And this one, rather than thinking it's just a modernization opportunity, is really that reinvestment in your existing facilities and what opportunities we have to modify the space from a programmatic standpoint to support an industrial lab. For the police, we identified a standby generator to make sure the systems are operational 24/7 to align with your safety and security goals. And then the next one that you see is the Yeary Library. So for Yeary Library, one of the things that we identified is that it's a highly utilized space for students to go in and gather or study, and making sure that the space is modernized to the newest education suitability improvements, meaning the environment is suited to the different learning modalities that the students would have. There are some students that learn by collaborating. There are some students that learn by being isolated. So making sure that that space is modernized to support that as well. And then lastly, identified in this campus particularly was the opportunity to improve circulation, that main entrance and the challenges that come with that traffic circulation and opportunities to improve that. For South Campus, we identified Bailey Hall as a need to modernize, again, through our assessment. And then were discussions about opportunities to provide a multi-purpose gathering space in that campus as well, to make sure that you can have larger groups gather. There were also discussions about student services, whether it's a standalone building or in addition to an existing building, to be able to support equity of student services in both campuses. And instead of having it in different areas of the campus, they're all centralized and you're able to serve students from a single point. The Safarian Library, like I said, it was assessed, and through that assessment, I know that's one of the buildings that we identified a lot of challenges from a maintenance standpoint, from the building envelope, from site drainage. So really looking at modernizing that building and addressing a lot of those issues that were identified. Next, we have a transportation training center. This is one of the few standalone new construction buildings, right? This is not really something that we can say reinvest an existing facility just because the program needs are a very specific space, right? So that one, it's a standalone building. We also, through the traffic study, identified some challenges in one of your parking lots as far as circulation. So we are identifying that as a need to get addressed. And then in general, similar to this campus, we identified improvements for outdoor spaces for the students, but also the potential for an event quad, because we know a lot of your outdoor functions for a large gathering do happen at that campus, and being able to have the site infrastructure to support that. So again, we went back after creating the proposed projects and really evaluated back and forth. We did some priority exercises as we were trying to validate whether that was the right decision or not. We came back to really focusing, is this space a student-centric space? Is this space going to serve the students? And that's how we were able to refine that. And these are just examples of projects that we shared, whether it was an outdoor or indoor opportunity to support students. And then To no surprise, again, trying to align to the needs of Laredo, really focusing on the manufacturing, transportation, and industrial technology needs. So really what happens next is we've created the list of projects and now we're trying to sort them. How are we going to tackle them? How are we going to get funding needed for these? So we identified 3 phases to be able to group these from a timing priority as well as a funding availability. So the phase 1 really looks at maintenance, security, and site improvements. Those were identified as the biggest immediate needs. So those were then put in phase 1. The plan was to tackle them with current funds available. And I do want to mention that some of those items are currently taking place, and I'll make sure I make note of those as I go through them in more detail. But some of those efforts have started. For phase 2, we really looked at opportunities to what we're calling the deferred maintenance tax note. So really looking at an opportunity to do deferred maintenance improvements through a different funding source through the maintenance tax notes. And then lastly, phase 3, we identified capital improvement projects. So these would be more programmatic changes, and these would require potentially a bond program in order to fund them. So as I go through these projects, I'm not going to go back in detail. I've already walked you through most of these unless there's any questions, but this really starts to then put a value to each one of those and really tackling where the priorities are. So like I said, phase 1 really looks at your maintenance needs, security needs. Like I said, those were discussed. The central plan improvements that you see there, I know this is one item that has been in the works recently, and it's something that is one example of those efforts that have taken place. The second, phase 2, really looks at that deferred maintenance notes, tax notes, and these, like I said, are going to be mostly your modernization spaces where you're not doing programmatic changes. Anything that's modernizing a building system, a site, infrastructure, can be funded through maintenance tax notes. And then lastly, we have your capital improvement projects, which are your major renovations, major modernizations that would incorporate some sort of programmatic update. And I'll go through some examples as I continue to go through this presentation. I will say that the projects are listed in the order that they were prioritized through our executive committee process, just as maybe the highest priority needs, and that's why they're sorted in this order. So as we wrap up then this phase and we move into our planning phase, now we have a list of the needs. We understand how those are going to be tackled in the different phases. So now it's really putting that vision in paper, right? One thing is to have the list, and another thing is how we're going to achieve those as a side strategy, like we would like to say. So I'm going to walk you through our final drafts of what these proposed projects would be. In front of you, you are seeing your current campus condition for 4th McIntosh. And then in the following slide, you'll see identified the projects as part of this master plan. The projects in light blue, or noted in light blue, those are existing buildings that will go through some level of modernization through this master plan process. Anything in the dark blue are then proposed additions to existing or standalone buildings. So as you can tell, again, continuing on that language of reinvestment in existing facilities, most of the projects identified in this campus are in light blue. Similarly, these were some of the early drafts that our landscape architect developed. I will say that we did work on this not just ourselves. We had consultants that supported us. We had engineers from all disciplines, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing to support these efforts. We had a landscape architect and facilities programming that really looked at that data collection. So through these efforts, our landscape architect was able to assess the site and be able to propose concepts for that. Now for South Campus, again, similarly, you'll see your existing site 2025 map. And then really the proposed projects identify that transportation building almost mirrored from Rachel Gonzalez building. Because in nature and programmatic, they're very similar. We wanted to make sure that those were responding to each other, and if there was any opportunities for collaboration, that you have that planned in your site. You also see identified some of the other projects that we've discussed. And then similarly, you have these early iterations of what those site concepts that were developed by our landscape architect. So like Danny mentioned, we are here in our last step, which is our execution. Our team, holistically, of all the consultants that I mentioned earlier, we're putting together what we call the book, which is ultimately a presentation that's going to walk you through this whole process a little bit more in detail. It will have exhibits that outline reports and other items that were mentioned, again, for your reference. So we should be wrapping this up and turning it over to the college after these presentations in the next couple of weeks. Now, as part of these efforts, we started looking at what would that mean, right? And starting to look at some visual efforts for this. So I'm going to touch lightly on some of those concepts that we talked about. So for site improvements, going back to that wayfinding and make sure that the branding strategy is the same across the board, we started thinking about what does that look in both campuses, right? We talked about as you're driving maybe through South Campus, you don't know that you're driving through South Campus. There's not something that is of a large scale. So we started thinking, okay, what opportunities do we have to do that? And then if you're driving at night, well, then maybe one of the ideas is we light it up so you can see it, so it's present, so the community knows that Laredo College is there. So really, again, these were just concepts of different strategies for that branding. Thinking larger scale, so there's more presence on the side, but allowing you to have that branding across both campuses. These are now the rendered versions or final versions that our landscape architect developed to support those outdoor spaces. And you can see in some of these that pedestrian mall, as well as making sure that there's areas that are shaded as you're transferring from one building to another, or also they assess which areas of the campus is where you have more students being dropped off or picked up, and make sure that there's a covered canopy to support that. Similarly, for South Campus, they did the same thing in the main pedestrian spine, but you can see south of Safrarini Library, they're proposing to do an amphitheater. And this really looks at addressing some of the drainage issues that were identified through the assessment. So every decision that we made through this process was informed through those assessments. Now, these are now some of our visual efforts that we started to create. This one specifically is trying to reinvest and rethink what Kaysen could be. So Kaysen, again, having an opportunity to modernize the space, if we talk about building systems and everything, but truly modernizing the aesthetics, right? And making sure that at the same time, one of our guiding principles was history of legacy. We want to make sure we're respectful of the architecture of these buildings, right, that we're in. They're very unique, and we want to make sure that even though we're modernizing, we're respecting that. So this is just a strategy of what that space could be. We know this space, it's utilized for different, either an assembly type, right, with a larger group, or in a day-to-day basis by the students. So anything that we're proposing, we see as flexible and movable to be able to adapt to the different needs. We also know that one of the challenges is the food service component of this building. So trying to rethink what that would look like, and an opportunity to open that up into that space. It's also something that we studied through this visioning effort. The next one that you see on the screen, this is now focusing on Safrarini Library. Safrarini Library, really with some of the challenges that it has had from a building envelope standpoint, we're looking at addressing a lot of the finishes in that building envelope. And that really gives us an opportunity to modernize the space and start aligning it with just the new learning modalities, right? We used to think of a library a certain way. Now people are even calling it media centers, right? We're starting to think differently. So we want to make sure that the space aligns with that as well. And then, so then rethinking the rest of the library in this next slide, it's really thinking where before libraries were just stacks of buildings, now there are opportunities for gathering and collaboration. And if you're looking at being able to study and find a quiet place to do that, but also flexibility to be able to set it up in different formats. And then our next one is that transportation training facility. Like I said, this is one of the few standalone buildings. This is then the view that you would have from the driving pad, right? And you can see from this visual effort, Rachel Gonzalez is then behind you. And this is really looking at that warehouse component to be able to provide forklift training, truck driving training, but it also has an academic component to support that. And then we also did a night view as we were thinking some of the concerns that we had is as you're driving to the campus, you need to know where you're at, especially in the nighttime. So opportunities to lit up some of the signage and start to respond to some of those wayfinding strategies that we showed or concepts that we showed earlier with the green lettering in the buildings as well. So like Danny mentioned, it's been a year and a half almost. We want to take this opportunity to thank you all for your trust in us and in making sure we could transfer your vision into this roadmap that we keep talking about. So thank you for your trust. This is the end of this process for us, but this is the beginning for you all. And our hope is that you're able to take this vision of this master plan and really incorporate it into your goal settings as you move forward. Again, I just want to acknowledge the support that we receive from campus and community stakeholders. I want to thank them for their support through this whole process, as well as our consultants, which are listed also in this slide. And with that, I want to turn it over, I guess, Dr. Ramirez, or any questions?
Thank you. Judge Martinez, go ahead.
Thank you very much. I certainly want to compliment you on the impressive presentation, and obviously you've done quite a bit of homework in this presentation. What I'm looking at right now, overall, the three phases, we're looking at approximately $160 million, with the first phase 38.1. Right now, our bond rating is a AA, isn't it?
AA plus.
So when the time does come for us to consider that possibility, of course, our key is try to see if we can build up on the bond rating to a AAA. We unfortunately have not been able to do that. If I may call on our treasurer, or any observation or comments in reference to this possibility?
Cesar Vela, VP of Finance and Administration. Judge, yes, we continue to work on trying to upgrade our ratings. There are several factors that are taken into account by rating agencies, some that are within our control and some that are unfortunately outside our control. They look at not just the financial position of the college, but also of the city, which is good at this moment. But they look at population, enrollment, and so some of those factors play into the decision of the rating agency. So we're working at the items that are within our control to try to receive an upgrade. We have lately, like I mentioned, we did receive a rating upgrade about 2 years ago. And we have also received positive comments regarding our financial status. Again, but there are some factors that we have to work that are within our control, but there are, again, some that are outside our control that we depend on other entities for that rating agency.
We are limited when it comes to the possibility of improving on our fund balance and our AA rating. which of course our goal is to eventually become a AAA. One of the things that actually holds us back is our we are limited on the how shall I say we are within the limits of the city of Laredo, and it would be great if we would be countywide, which unfortunately we are not. If we were countywide, then that would give us even a far better possibility of reaching a AAA rating. The expansion of the city is whenever the city actually expands its city limits, then we go right along with it. But that unfortunately is not the case. But this is one area that we have to look into that possibility for us to gradually build up that bond rating so that we do not have to go through a little more of an expense when it comes to floating a bond issue. And that, as far as I'm concerned, is of primary importance for us because it does play a major role in our finances. When we're looking at the overall phases 1, 2, and 3, we're looking at close to $160 million in overall major improvements. And by the way, I certainly want to compliment you. You've obviously done quite a bit of research and quite a bit of homework, and I'm impressed with what I've been able to review and hear. So I do compliment you on your research and your homework. And this is something that we need to work towards, and that would be the goal that we need to work towards on our end as members of this board and also as administration of the college itself. So thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Judge. The chair recognizes Esteban Rangel.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I got a couple of questions. Mr. Vela, on phase 1, the funding say currently funds available. Where are those going to be coming from?
Yes, Mr. Rangel, currently those funds are allocated as part of the deferred maintenance fund.
Okay.
So some of the items that were identified phase 1, we're currently already working on them. Like, for example, the central plant upgrades.
Mhm.
That was a project that was approved a month ago or
Yes, I
2 months ago.
So those are those were the ones that we were discussing that money was going to go to fund those types of projects.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
sir.
Then phase 2, are those the ones that we talked to about, Mr. Tijerina?
That is correct, sir. Maintenance tax.
So I just wanted to make note on that, and then the possibility of the bond, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Is there anything that was not included just because of the price tag? I guess question goes to anybody, like Dr. Ramirez or anything like. Was there anything that it's just too expensive not to add it, or everything is included into this?
Ms. Bravo, Minita Ramirez for the record, but I think Ms. Bravo can answer that, but I don't think that based on the committee's requests and the different communication opportunities we had with different groups, I think we tried to include everything we possibly could in here. Now, I think that as we grow in the next couple of years, by the time we get to phase 3, some of those designs may be need to be expanded or rethought or modified. And so, again, this is our blueprint,
Of course.
not engraved in stone. We know that there may be other outside factors that we cannot take into account in the master plan, whether damages that we face on an annual basis. I mean, there are certain things that come up as emergencies, and then therefore we eat away into maybe a phase 2 project like we are now. And so as these opportunities come up, and if funds are available because of a donor or because we had money saved from a particular year, like we did this year, that we were able to put some of that, the funds that we were able to save this year into that deferred maintenance account to start that huge project for physical plant or for the water plant, or what's it called? The water plant, right?
The central plant.
Central plant, thank you. And so as we start to do that, but you are going to see some drainage issues that we're facing right now that we weren't planning.
Got it.
And those are costly. And so, but we can't wait.
Of course.
And
That's
right.
so as that happens,
Take a chance.
this is modified or adjusted or planned for.
Yeah.
No, but that kind of answers the question. I just wanted to make sure that everything that currently right now is needed is pretty much being added. So that kind of answers my question. My last question would be to Ms. Bravo. So how does this work with us? Do you keep going with us as we're going through the phases? Like, do you keep I guess what I'm trying to say is this done? Are you done with this, or are we going to be hearing from you as phase 1 finishes, then phase 2? Do you keep updating it, just like Dr. Ramirez said? Let's say we're at phase 2, but then we ran into something that we have to fix that we weren't projecting it, 5 years from now, right? Do you update the plan, or is it pretty much this is over?
So I think my next comment is really gonna add on to the answer that Dr. Ramirez just gave and then clarify your question. As I mentioned, this is a living document.
Okay.
This is a roadmap. This is as clear of a picture as we can paint today for the next 10 years. But because it's a living document, it will take some internal information, right? If this is a program that we're really not looking to invest on, or this is something that has changed, then you as an entity make those decisions. Now, we're happy to support this process and continue to support it.
To keep
However,
updating it.
you want to keep us involved, or as projects become actual projects as well. But in reality, I mean, this is a living document, and this incorporated everything that was identified. We did not exclude anything because of a price tag.
Okay.
We were looking at it as a needs base and making sure that the needs were identified. And even though we did our best of trying to plan it in different phases, we know you might not be able to accomplish everything in phase 1. So then our mindset is automatically that drops into phase 2. But the priority between those phases follows an order of what we understand it's the current priority.
No, I mean, this is a great presentation. Thank you so much. I do want to go ahead and commend staff, because me and Trustee Leandro, I know we attended a couple of meetings, and I mean, we had to leave. We weren't able to stay all the hours that you guys were, but I want to commend also our staff for coming together, and because this is something that some of us might not be around to see, but it's a good starting point. So for future either other employees or trustees that are going to be seeing this, because like this says, I mean, I think I saw it goes up to 2030 some or something like that, or
2036.
36, yeah. So some of us probably won't even be here, right? But it's a good starting point, and I just want to go ahead and commend staff for starting something that hopefully is going to be something that is going to impact our facilities. So thank
They
you.
certainly have done an excellent job, and I certainly compliment you, because obviously you've done quite a bit of research and quite a bit of homework, and it has come through in this presentation. And obviously, I myself always look in terms of finances, and I know that our treasurer here is. I'm always monitoring that because we have to make sure that we are solvent, all right? We certainly don't want to get in a position where we end up on the red. And that is important to us, and also to our credit rating. And because of this, we need to properly plan ahead and make sure that we are financially in a position that we can afford it. Okay, but I do compliment on this research, and the manner in which you have made this presentation. So congratulations, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Ms. Tita Vela.
I just want to say it was an excellent presentation. It really was. And I think one thing that we need to remember is this is over 10 years, and many, many things can happen over 10 years. There's lots of things that we've done now that we never thought we would do 10 years ago. So it's a progress that there's going to be changes. There may be a lot of changes, I don't think we ever thought we would have the trucking industry that we have right now and the need for all of that, and who knows what else we're going to come about with. So it's a progress with changes that are involved. And yes, it's a lot of money, but what can I say?
Thank
Thank
you. I do have a couple of questions, Ms. Bravo. First of all, thank you for all the work. As Mr. Rangel mentioned, we were able to sit in on a couple of the sessions, and I think the way you presented it was very easy to for there to be a lot of communication from the staff, and I think we also had some students involved, and so that was really important to be able to get a good picture of what we need. However, I was wondering for the prioritization poll, was that just from the committee, or did that go out to a larger group of the population of students and staff?
That was with the committee, but again, we believe we had a balanced committee. We had opportunity to engage different people from different groups, not just the community, students, faculty, and staff. And we were able to also present it at those town hall meetings that Danny was mentioning, and we got validation or positive feedback as well. So
Okay,
no
great.
concerns from everyone.
Great. And then the other thing, as I look at the list of projects, we do see some that are listed as modernization. Is that where you're including improvements to the space for the projected growth? Or how are you incorporating how we could potentially increase enrollment or increase lab space? Is that where we're going to see those improvements, where it says modernization? Because I don't really see anything in the descriptions where I see growth.
Yeah. Modernization really focuses on updating the building, and it's all aspects of the building, right? We talked about the building systems themselves, making sure that it's compliant with the newest code requirements, making sure that it's compliant with 21st century learning. So to answer your question, yes, the space could be updated or modernized to support other programs. Now, at the time of that, let's say, okay, we are ready to modernize this space. That I think will require some evaluation of the program that is intended to go into that space, and if it requires modification of the space itself to support that. But one of the biggest aha moments for us in the data collection phase was the fact that because you do have the space, you have opportunity for that. And that's why I mentioned that whole mission-driven approach of reinvesting your facilities is probably the best approach right now, because you don't have a need to add for growth unless you have a very specific program like the transportation.
And I think it's just important for us to be specific, especially if we are going to go out for a bond, because we want to be sure that the taxpayers know that all of the investments that are going to be made are going to be for the students and for the community. We want to be sure that it's very clear that it's not just because we want a pretty building or, we want to make sure that the taxpayers know that their money is going to be invested wisely. So I think if there's any way that we could maybe even reword the way some of the projects are listed to where it's clearer, I think it would be easier for us to make sure that the community is informed as to what we're doing.
And I appreciate your comment. And the goal is, as we're developing this book that I was talking about, it's going to be a little bit more detail, and hopefully we'll make sure that those things are clarified for future complaints that you might have for the purpose of our conversation. We just had to keep it more simplified. but
Okay,
we'll
that's good.
address
That's
it
great.
for sure.
And it's really not a complaint. Like, it's just,
No.
we just want to be sure that we're being transparent and that we're being clear, because it is a lot of money that we're going to be asking for. And I just want to be sure that we can relay that message clearly to our constituents, and that they know that we're doing this because it's an absolute need and not just a want. Dr. Ramirez?
Thank you, Ms. Lindo. I think two other points to make. One is they've presented twice to all of our employees at Convocation, and both times opened up the floor so that all employees would have an opportunity either to talk to them or visit with them or give ideas or share their concerns or their views about the work or the space that they're working in. And so I think we tried to involve as many people as we possibly could. We also tried to involve some of our stakeholders, people who we work with on our advisory groups that are actually receiving our students once they graduate or they're transferring someplace else. And so we wanted to make sure we tried to get the voices of everybody, including the students, and what they're seeing today. I do want to make one clarification, because it is a lot of money, and maybe not as much as some of the other educational entities we've seen recently going out on bonds. We are not proposing a bond
Yeah.
to the community. I don't want to alert anyone. We're not proposing a bond today or next year. I think the idea is we need to have a master plan. We need to know what direction we're headed. And as we move towards that, and as the functionality of our buildings changes, then we need to change that. As the technology changes, as the programs develop and evolve, we need to modernize the work we're doing. We have right now 3 simulators, with one more on the way for our truck driving. We have that in a separate space from where the truck driving program is actually held. It's in a completely different space. Well, it would be wonderful to have it all together. It would be wonderful to have the ability to, as we teach that truck driving or the CDL licensing, that they have a space where they can back up into a warehouse and practice what they're actually going to do out in the field. We already have our truck driving pad ready that we want everybody to know about and see, and how we provide those spaces. A year ago, we didn't know we were going to be approved by TxDOT to offer licensing on our site, and we are today. And so as things evolve and things start to make sense as we group them together, we want to be able to provide that modernization of facilities. And yes, it is a living document. So I don't want anybody to think that we're calling out right now or recommending, as the administration is not recommending right now that we go out on a bond. Thank you.
Understood. Thank you. And I think it's a great, idea. I know we need to have the master plan. I'm all for it. I just want to be sure that the wording is done, as clearly as possible. That's my opinion, of course. So thank you. Thank you very much for all your hard work.
Good job.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Yes. Next on the agenda is item number 4, discuss the Laird Hall roof restoration. Mr. Vela?
Yes, good evening, Cesar Vela, VP of Finance and Administration for the record. This next item, we are going to be requesting that the board approve a contract with American Contracting and Roofing. And I do need to make a clarification on the amount. The amount that's listed on the agenda for a total of $786,670 is for materials and labor. We do need to add the cost of the bonds. We are required to secure or pay for the payment and performance bonds, which are included as part of the contract. and those total 59,000. We are also including a $10,000 contingency allowance, and that is to be used only with college approval for any unforeseen items. So the total contract amount is 855,670 for this project. The project covers the restoration of the Laird Hall roof. It is 21,000 square feet of existing roof system. Some of the scope of work calls obviously for cleaning the area, applying the Carnac coating product, and it requires two applications. Also making sure that all penetrations are sealed, removing all non-functioning bands, penetrations, antenna, and non-working equipment from that roof. And also making sure that all the fasteners are retightened or replaced as necessary. This building was renovated as part of the 2010 Facilities Master Plan. However, none of the projects that we addressed during the Facilities Master Plan covered roofs. So we've been working on roofs as part of the deferred maintenance projects. We've done all of the South Campus roofs. Here at the main campus, we've already addressed a couple of buildings. We still have pending the Maravillo Gym, the Kaysen Center. We do have the Memorial Hall and the Atkins Building, and the VPA Building, which is one of our newer buildings, but it's already reaching 15 years life. So again, this particular roof has a 20-year warranty on the material and a 2-year warranty on the workmanship. Again, we are asking that the board approve the contract in the amount of 855,670 with American Contracting and Roofing. It is a TIPS purchasing cooperative contract, and the number is 200-201-5196. Any questions on this one item?
Any questions? Thank you, Mr. Vela.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, item number 5, discuss the building plaques for Arechiga Hall Building and Lamar Bruni Vergara Environmental Science Complex. Mr. Vela?
Yes, members of the building committee, we're at the final stages of both the Arechiga Hall Building and Lamar Bruni Vergara Environmental Science Center projects. We have already received confirmation that Arechiga is ready to be accepted. For the Lamar Bruni, we're still working on one item that is pending, but that should be addressed in the next week or so. Included in your board packet is a rendering of the building plaques for both projects. And this rendering represents the revised policy COA local, facilities planning, facility standards. The plaque now includes the name of the college district and the name of the facility. It also includes the date the board approved the project, as well as the date of the dedication or rededication of the building. It includes the name of the board officers and members as of the date of the approval, as well as of the date of the dedication and rededication of the building. It also includes the name of the college president, as of the date the board approved the project, and as of the date of the facility's dedication or rededication. It also includes the name of the architect and the construction firm that worked on the project. Yes.
Dr. Ramirez?
Mr. Vela, did you give copies of the proposed renderings?
Yes.
We did not get them, Liz.
Please.
Miss, you have them? Yeah, we have them. Oh, okay. All right. I wasn't sure. All
Yes,
right.
they're included in the packet.
All right.
Chair recognizes Ms. Tita Vela.
What happened to the old
We have them.
I'm sorry, the
old signs or the old
The plaques?
plaques? Yes, thank you.
so
The old plaques.
The old plaques are kept in the building.
Okay,
And then the new ones
Will
are
be-
installed next to the old.
okay,
plaque.
good,
Yes.
good. Because I know that in the past we've lost some of the old ones.
No, so.
But that's good.
Yes, so we've been addressing that item.
Good.
So we keep the old plaque and we install the
Great.
new plaque.
Great, thank you.
At this time, we don't have any budgetary considerations for this agenda. We will go out and receive quotes for the plaques. Again, we're getting ready to finalize the projects. We will determine the date of the rededication of the facilities at a later time, which will most likely happen during the spring semester. And that will be included in the plaque. Right now, you just see 2025 or 2026 on the plaque, depending on the.
Thank you.
Ms. Diana.
Any questions? Chair recognizes Mr. Duncan.
Just really quick, I'll make a quick comment. Just for the record, like, I know that I work for operations in LISD, and they do a similar thing. They look at the board that approved it, and they look at the board that's finishing it, so I don't foresee anything wrong. So just for the record, like, LISD does it the same way.
The
So,
city and the county do it as well.
yeah, okay. No, that tells you everything. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, number 6, discuss the purchase of HVAC controls for Memorial Hall building. Mr. Vella?
Yes, members of the building committee, this item is again to request approval for a project with Daikin Applied Americans, and this is a buy board contract number 720-23 and 733-24 in the amount of $117,000, and this is for the HVAC control upgrade at Memorial Hall. This is part of the items that were identified as part of the facilities master plan, deferred maintenance projects. Unfortunately, for this particular building, we cannot wait until we work on the complete project. We have been having issues with this particular building maintaining temperature. The project calls for the installation of new controllers for 4 multi-zone air handling units at the Memorial Hall. It also includes the temperature, humidity, and CO2 sensors, as well as VFD frequency drivers. And this system, or these sensors and controllers, will be part of the new Niagara 4 system that will be implemented also as part of the Johnson Controls project. And this is, again, it's a deferred maintenance project. The funds are allocated as part of the deferred maintenance project. We currently have 3.7 million in the deferred maintenance. We are also going to transfer approximately 15.7 million from 2025 savings into the deferred maintenance projects, and this will cover the already approved project with Johnson Control for the central plant upgrades and the lighting upgrades at the Fort McIntosh campus.
Great.
Any questions on this one item?
No. Any questions from the board? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Vella. Next item, number 7, approval of contract with MAG4 Group Limited, doing business as C4 Construction for replacement of sewer line. Mr. Vella?
Yes, members of the building committee, this one item is to request an approval for a contract to replace a sewer line at the Fort McIntosh campus in the total amount of $187,400. Again, to be funded by deferred maintenance funds. And again, the contract will be with MAG4 Group Ltd., also doing business as C4 Construction. We did issue a request for proposals. We only got one response, and this was from from C4 Construction, I'm sorry. The line that we're currently replacing services facilities at the Fort McIntosh campus, and this includes the HR building, campus police, the Corral building, the administrative annex building, and the Atkins building. It is, the replacement is needed because it is an aging infrastructure item. That line collapsed, and so it does need to be replaced. We are targeting to do the replacement during the Christmas break. That way we don't affect operations. The project scope includes replacing approximately 475 linear feet of sewer line, installing a 48-inch manhole and 6 cleanouts. And we're also going to need to replace some street asphalt with concrete, because we're going to have to cut through that main street, as well as a walkway. And then obviously clean up once the project is completed. Again, we did issue a request for proposals, and that proposal number was 25-1010, which was the LC Main Campus Replacement of Sewer Line Project.
Great. And do they foresee that they can complete the project during the break?
Yes, so again, we will be off for about approximately 2.5 weeks, which should be enough time to get the project completed.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, well, thank you very much. If there are no other questions, I ask for a motion to adjourn.
So move. Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. This meeting is adjourned. It is 6:40 PM. Thank you. Yay.
I'm going to call the meeting, our Finance and Audit Committee meeting. Let me go ahead and call roll. Myself, I'm here. Gary Elizondo is out. Mercurio Martinez
Present.
and Adriana Alexander is out. All right, it's a lengthy agenda. So here it goes. Okay, let's go ahead and start with number 3, Mr. Cesar Vera, the presentation of the October 2025 financial report.
Yes, good evening, Madam Chair, members of the Finance and Audit Committee, Cesar Vela, VP of Finance and Administration for the record. The first item is the October 2025 financial report. And I'll start the report by going over the general operating revenues. And again, this represents the first 2 months of operations. As of October 31st, we have not received our first payment for the state appropriation revenue that typically comes during the month of November, that first payment. For local funds, we have a total of $9,042,875, which represents the fall tuition and fee revenue. And again, this is for the first 8 weeks, or currently now 59.5% of our budgeted revenue for that line item. For tax collections, we have 7.3% of our budget collected, which totals $3.6 million. For the other funds, we have recognized a total of $666,967. And again, the majority of that coming from our interest revenue. Total revenues as of October 31st are $13,638,412, or 15.8% of our budgeted revenue. And again, this is the first 2 months of operations. For expenditures, expenses as of October 31st totaled $13,424,142, or 15.52% of our budget. At this point, we don't have any major variances to report. All is aligned with last year's operations. As far as the other funds, the Global Logistics Center, again, the special appropriation of $141,000 has not been received. That typically comes next month. We do have expenses already for the center of $20,423, or 14.5% of the budget. We are showing a decrease in the fund balance, and again, that will change once we receive the revenue from the state. It typically comes in one payment, and that should be received for a total of $141,164. Auxiliary services, out of a budget of $1,369,000, we have collected $1,057,785. That represents 77.3%. Expenses total $264,645, or 19.3% of the budget. Currently, we're showing a net change to the fund balance of $793,140. And again, this will obviously change once we continue through the fiscal year operations. For restricted funds, we have a total of $14.6 million in revenues, $14.6 million in expenditures. The majority of that is coming from federal grants, primarily the Title IV, which is our Pell Grant, and this is approximately 12.6 million for the fall semester. I'm happy to report that we're at the end of the facilities master plan. We are, like I mentioned earlier, we're taking possession of our last project, which is the Lamar Bruni Vergara Environmental Center. The amounts that you see on the screen represent the savings throughout the phases of the facilities master plan. So we have approximately $1.1 million in savings. We do have one last payment that is pending for the Lamar Bruni Vergara, and that's a retainage payable. So we have one invoice that is pending to be paid out. Well, actually, we have a couple of invoices to be paid out. So that number will be coming down. But again, right now, the amounts that you see there as of October 31st represent savings throughout the 3 phases of the facilities master plan. So we have right now 1.1 million less those invoices that are pending to be
Right.
paid. The tax collections, and I do apologize, it's not as of August 31st, it's October 31st. We have collected $3,645,473. That's 7.20% of our tax levy. If you see across the slide, the fiscal year 25 and fiscal year 24, again, we had collected 7.23% at this point last year and 6.97% in 2024. So we are on target to, again, hit that mark of 98% again. And again, this is the first month of operations or collections, but we do anticipate that we will be hitting that 98% collection rate. The last item that I have is just an update on the fund balance for the general operating fund. We are beginning the fiscal year with a fund balance of $33,129,969. For this year, first 2 months of operations, we've recorded revenue of $13,638,412. We have expenses of $13,424,142. The number $15,730,865, that is the amount that will be transferred out to the deferred maintenance to cover the central plant upgrade project as well as the LED upgrade project. So right now you are seeing a negative fund balance of $15,516,595. But again, this is because we've only completed 2 months of operations. So overall, the ending fund balance as of October 31st, with that adjustment of 15.5 million, stands at 17,613,373. Again, and this is again based on projections of a 10% savings for the fiscal year. We will be maintaining our fund balance at the 20% mark that the board has requested. So again, right now it stands at 17.6 million, but again, this is just for the first 2 months of operations. And that concludes the update on the financial report. Any questions?
No, I think the only thing is we just need to remember that's just 2 months
Yes.
into the year, so that's pretty good. We're doing good. Thank you. All right, let's go into number 3, the presentation of the, number 4, to discuss the annual investment report and the August 2025 quarterly investment report.
Yes, members of the Finance and Audit Committee, this next item, you do have copies of the annual, quarterly, and monthly investment reports in your financial booklet. We do have Ms. Jamie Hobbs with Valley View Consulting that is joining the meeting. She will be providing the update on the annual investment report. So at this point, I'll go ahead and defer to Ms. Hobbs so that she can make the presentation.
Good evening to the committee. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So we'll be going through the August 31st investment report. The first page that you'll see there is the annual portfolio performance summary. So the portfolio ended August 31st, 2025 with $125,372,000. That was an increase year over year of about $2.4 million. Your ending fourth quarter yield was a 3.86% compared to 4.65% for the previous year. That was to be expected in that we had rate reductions through the FOMC actions throughout the year. So those yields will continue to decrease as we have additional actions. Your fiscal earnings stayed fairly consistent year over year. You ended 2025 with $5.4 million in investment and interest earnings compared to $5.9 million the year before. In looking at the next page for quarter end results, again, the $125,372,000 ending balance for the portfolio for August 31st. That was a quarter over quarter decrease of about $20.3 million. Your quarterly yield was 3.86, which was consistent with the prior quarter, which was at 3.85. So consistent over those two continuous quarters. The quarterly interest income was $1.3 million, compiling to that year-to-date interest income number of the $5.4 million. In looking at the next page, just a quick economic overview. We are continuing to monitor just as the government opens back up. A lot of what we use for financial indicators and economic indicators are numbers that are provided by the government. So there were a number of normal reports that would have been received that weren't because the government was shut back down. But now that we're moving forward, we'll expect to start receiving those again over the next few weeks and over the next month. The most important numbers that are affected by that are the inflation and the job numbers. We were able to get private numbers during that time. But again, now that the government's opened back up, we'll revert back to those typical private and public numbers that are provided by the government and the Bureau of Labor Statistics. We did have action during the last month in October. There was a meeting on October 28th and 29th by the FOMC. They did decide to drop the Fed funds range to 3.75 to 4%. That was a 25 basis point drop in that rate. Prior to the government opening back up, the probability for the next meeting in December was over 100% probability in the market that we would see a rate drop. Since the government has opened back up, that probability has dropped to about 40% for the December meeting, and then only to about 75 to 85% for the January meeting. So what the market is anticipating over the next couple months is more of a steady rate scenario and rate market. We do expect with the new numbers that will be coming out that they will have more data to make decisions at the December meeting and that January meeting. We do know that there have been a number of layoffs in the job market and that the inflation has stayed pretty steady above their 2% goal number. So we'll continue to monitor that as we move forward with those next few meetings coming up. The next page that's included in your report is an investment holdings listing. Everything with the first subtotal shows your cash and cash equivalent investments, your different money market accounts, and then the pools that the portfolio are invested in. And that totaled about $77.2 million as of the end of August. Excuse me. The second subtotal that's there are your fixed investments, and you're invested in a number of different CDs that are laddered out over the course of about 12 months. Those are used to try to hold yields where we have availability. When there's available funds that are that we can put to use, we try to put those to use in holding those rates for as long as we can. When the FOMC does make any kind of change to that range and those to the yields and interest rates, the cash and cash equivalents will move almost in exact the same position. They'll move down or up depending on how the FOMC moves. And so they'll do that almost immediately. So you'll see that action in the yields that are reported. But when we are able to invest in the CDs, it's able to hold those yields a little bit longer until the maturity of that specific investment. And looking at the next page, you'll just see a couple of different graphs that report out the balances. Your portfolio composition is currently about 60% in pools and cash equivalents, and about 40% in CDs. And looking at that bottom graph, you'll see just historical values of the portfolio going back to August of 2023 when we came on board with you guys. And what you'll see is a pretty typical pattern to where state funding and tax revenues come in your February quarter, and then you're in a spin down mode for the remainder of that of those 4 quarters thereafter. And so that's a very typical spending pattern for the college. The next report is a book and market value comparison. This is just showing the increases and decreases in each individual investment that you do have. You'll see the funding out of Falcon Bank of about $20 million. There were 3 CDs that matured during this August quarter end. And then there were 3 new CDs that were purchased during that time period. Again, trying to ladder out those investments over the course of the next 12 months. Again, the total change in value was about $20.3 million for the quarter from May to August. The next 2 pages just give you a breakdown of each of the investments into the specific funds, into the larger buckets of operating restricted funds, endowment funds, and then your bond and construction funds. And that is shown quarter over quarter between those 2 reports. So the biggest reduction was in your current operating funds, a decrease of about 16.7 million. And then the next was the restricted funds, a decrease of about 3.2 million. Are there any questions on the report? Okay, thank you very much for your time today.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. All right, let's go ahead and go to number 5. Item number 5 is to discuss the site marketing agreement with Diamond Towers for the TASB Connect Ed Texas program. Mr. Albert Chavez.
Good evening, members of the Finance and Audit Committee. Albert Chavez, Associate VP of Information Technology. And on Zoom, I have Mr. Dale Shoemaker from Diamond Communications, who is joining us tonight to answer any questions that may come up from this item. I do want to point out that there needs to be a correction. The item, it should say communications instead of towers on the item name. Just wanted to make that correction. So for this particular item, Texas Association of School Boards, known as TASB, started a program called Connected Texas, and they partnered with Diamond Communications. This program helps improve wireless services and emergency communications for Texas school districts and colleges. The program enhances the program enhances the educational environment on school campuses by improving connectivity by boosting cell phone service. This is a zero-cost program with the potential to provide a long-term revenue stream to the college. The first phase of this program is to grant Diamond Communications the right to market the college property to wireless carriers by signing a site marketing agreement. During this phase, Diamond Communications will showcase the available properties, for example, the main and the south campus, and identify the coverage deficiencies to the carriers through their marketing efforts. Once they have completed this initial phase, they will work with the college and present the opportunities that came about from that marketing phase and work with the college to establish a potential lease agreement for the installation of a cell phone tower on this campus. Just to give just a quick overview before I let Dale add anything else. At this particular campus, since we're really close to the border, FCC requires that the cell phone carriers throttle their signal so it does not bleed over into Mexico in this case. So we are at that end of that signal. So that's why on your cell phone, you usually get maybe like 1 or 2 bars. So with this particular program in our communication with Dale and his team, they have analyzed our cell phone coverage, and it shows that we have very weak signal from all 3 major providers. And the idea would be for them to market a solution and allow providers to install equipment on a tower that could be placed on this campus to broadcast from, let's say, from the edge of the river on our property back to the United States to improve cell phone service. Dale, I don't know if you want to add anything else aside from what I just mentioned.
May I have a question?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Again, please, these diamond towers that we have are in the northern part of this campus here? Or where are the diamond towers?
They're not here
We
yet.
don't have a tower in this area yet.
we don't.
So this
Not
would,
yet.
Oh,
Not
we
yet.
don't have any. I'm sorry? Oh, proposal. Oh, I see.
Diamond to go out and look for possibilities.
I see. Oh, I see. I'll tell you because I personally, in my ranch, I do have a telephone tower that we are paid on a monthly basis. All right. But I mean, it can generate a nice return on if we're able to negotiate accordingly. But I just wanted to find out and see if you already had it or not. So right now that is under consideration. I see.
that's
I
correct.
understand.
And so basically, and I'll let Dale add a little bit more to it. So basically, their company specializes in doing these types of services. So basically, the idea would be if we have Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile interest from them in installing equipment on a tower that Diamond Communications would build on this campus. If we, giving that we would approve the land for them to install it, so then that would help for us to improve our services. And then there's a potential for the campus to get some revenue out of what is being charged to the cell phone providers for the installation of the equipment on
Of the
those towers.
equipment on the-
Is that correct, Dale? I don't know if you want to add anything else.
No, that's absolutely correct. Other than the potential is not really potential. I mean, you would get revenue. The lawyers just make us say that. But if we work with the carriers every day. We have great relationships with them, and is what we would do on your behalf with the marketing agreement. We're able to say, hey, what about Laredo College, and working with and they are interested in having or hearing about opportunities to have improved communications on their campus. And then we would work with the carriers to understand what their needs are, and then work with you all. I mean, much like you just had your 10-year plan that I was able to listen to. That was great stuff. And we would work to find a way to put a tower on your property that respected the nature aesthetically of your campus, and also the historic nature of it, and improve communications along the way, as well as generate revenue for you all. You would always be in control. We are just looking for the opportunity to bring you options in the future for you to consider.
On the screen right now, I'm sharing some of the research that Diamond Communication has already done. And as you can see here on the left side, this is the service from T-Mobile. And it's already on the red, which means a very weak signal. You have Verizon, which is even
Very
redder,
much
so it's
redder.
weaker. And then AT&T is in the orange,
little
which is
better.
right above the red. So this gives you an idea of where we are situated right now with cell phone coverage. And again, this is the river here right at the edge. So you can see how the service from the existing towers is being throttled back,
right.
so it doesn't bleed over into Mexico. And I'm just going to mention again in preliminary talks, right now, again, this is all
It's
just
just proposal.
discussion. they would propose to install a cell phone tower near the sports complex on the north side of the campus, of this Fort McIntosh campus, that would broadcast back towards the United States, helping improve the service on this campus in the neighborhood that's south of us. Because they also, if you look at it's not just us, if you look further here south on the image, the neighborhood that's south of us has the same problems. So it would be also in the best interest of the
for them.
providers to join into this initiative to also help their customers that are south of us.
So basically, it'll help our cell services, cell phone, because I know we've always had problems
That's correct.
with it going to the Mexican antenna, I guess.
Yes, because
Yeah.
Mexico does not
So-
have the same restrictions as we have in the United States. So
Exactly.
they don't have to throttle back their services. Their services actually bleed over into the United States. And on my phone, which is a Verizon phone, when I get here to campus, I get the little
The
message that
others-
tells me, "Welcome to Mexico."
Yeah,
And that's again because my phone,
because of
the signal from the Mexico side is stronger than the United States. So it switches over.
And so this is just a proposal.
It's a no-cost
To see.
proposal right
Proposal.
now. So basically, the request is to allow the college to sign a site marketing agreement with Diamond Communications to give them the opportunity to show this research that I've just showed you to
Okay.
the providers and get interest from the three providers, which is AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile, to see if they would have interest in if there were a tower built here on this campus, if they would have the interest of installing equipment here.
Ms. Vela.
Again, which in this agreement, Diamond Communications would build a tower, T-Mobile, and those other
Right.
providers would pay Diamond Communications, and there would be some revenue sharing
With us.
back to us. So
Right.
again, we gain better service, and there will be revenue back to the college under this program.
Ms. Vela.
Good, yes.
So one of the benefits, I guess, is that TASB, who we are associated with, has already vetted this company, Diamond, to do this kind of work for institutions of higher learning and K-12. So depending on, and so they are already vetted, I guess is the word, so for us to be cleared to say, if you're going to do this, this is the one organization that we're comfortable with, who we've done business with, and is really working on behalf of the state. So
How many towers are we looking at? Only one or more than one?
we don't.
We don't know.
Dale, you want to take that question?
Yeah, I mean, most likely it would be one or two, one at each campus. There could be the possibility that we looked at something that was like a couple of small cell towers that would be smaller. But that really depends on the carrier's needs ultimately. Permitting and zoning play into that, as well as historical nature of the campus. And then whatever you guys are comfortable with. Ultimately, it's on your property and you're in control in the end of whether or not it's what we propose is a good fit for you all.
Well, perhaps you might look at the site, the original site where Laredo Community College is, and then the South Campus as another site, as a potential site for another tower over in the South Campus.
Yes, sir. Both of the campuses, we've analyzed them, similar to what Mr. Chavez showed, and they have poor coverage. And what we would like to do is engage with the carriers about them investing money to improve that, and then being able to share that with you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Any questions? No? All right.
Okay.
Let's
I
go
just
on.
wanted to show again what Dale was mentioning. That's the coverage for the South Campus right there
Right.
on the screen. And it's included on your packet.
Well,
All the details from this presentation.
If we're fortunate enough to agree on a tower, that would generate a little revenue, some revenue for the benefit of the college here, okay? So that would be a plus for us, in a manner of speaking. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Really,
Thank you.
it'd kind of be a plus for the whole neighborhood in this
Very
area.
true.
Everybody, yes.
Everybody that's close by to here at the South Campus. So, all right, any other questions or comments? Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, let's go on to item number 6.
Can you speak into your microphone?
I'm sorry. Okay, let's go ahead and go on to item number 6. Discuss the campus wireless access point refresh.
Good evening, members of the Finance and Audit Committee. Albert Chavez, Associate VP of Information Technology. For this particular item, we're requesting approval for the purchase of campus wireless access points for our continuous refresh program. For this particular purchase, we're suggesting to use the vendor Computer Solutions using a DIR contract, DIR CPO 5347, and the total cost is $245,392. As a proactive measure, we always are looking at our equipment to make sure that items are not end of life or end of service through the providers. So the equipment on the agenda item identifies the buildings on the main campus and the south campus that will receive a refresh of the Wi-Fi equipment that's there. This item is close. These items are close to reaching end of life, end of support. So we're being proactive and replacing them before they reach that point. Again, there's several buildings that are listed there for the Fort McIntosh campus and the South campus. It's a total of 275 indoor, a combination of indoor and outdoor wireless access points. Again, this is the funding for this project is currently allocated in the fiscal year 26 Information Technology Department account.
Any questions? Okay, let's go on to number 7. Discuss the network switch refresh for the South Campus.
Good evening, members of the Finance and Audit Committee. Albert Chavez, Associate VP of Information Technology. Again, along the same lines, for this particular item, we're requesting approval to purchase networking equipment for a refresh of the South Campus. The proposed vendor is Computer Solutions using a DIR contract, DIR CPO 5347. The total cost for this project is $231,571, sorry. And again, this would be to replace networking equipment in all the buildings on the South Campus.
All right, any questions? Okay, let's go on to number 8, which is discuss the purchase of computers for labs and employee offices.
Members of the Finance and Audit Committee, for this particular item, we're requesting approval for our annual PC refresh program for our computer labs and employee offices. The total amount for this project is $503,488.07. The vendor for this project is Dell, and the procurement will occur using an Omnia National Cooperative Contract, and the contract is C. There's 5 zeros, 101, 9611. So again, for this particular project, for our computers, the life cycle is 4 years. So we have identified computers and labs that need to be refreshed, and also for the employees. This item is currently under our approved budget for fiscal year 26. And again, this is to make sure that our students in our labs and employees in our offices have up-to-date equipment.
And their laptops instead of the.
Yes, so
their
what we've been
laptops.
doing is for exempt staff,
Mhm.
contract staff, we've been assigning them a laptop with a docking station and 2
Mhm.
monitors. And for the non-exempt staff, we've been installing a desktop computer with 2 monitors. And for the labs, we've been doing a combination computer that has the computer built in on the back to conserve space on the
service.
desk.
Good. Any questions? Any questions or comments? All right, let's go to the next one, which is number 9.
9.
Number 9, discuss the ratification
Your
of,
mic. Pardon? Getting your mic.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's on the other side of me. It should be over here. All right, discuss the ratification of Texas DIR Telecom Service Annual Renewal.
Members of the Finance and Audit Committee, for this particular item, we're requesting that the board ratifies our annual renewal for our services through Texas Department of Information Resources for telecommunications. The total for the annual cost for this service is $157,738 with 44 cents. This covers our internet circuits that we have here in this campus. And it also covers our voice over IP services that we also have for the campus. Again, this is a service that we procured through the Texas Department of Information Resources. And what we do in this situation is we create a requisition in the amount that's stated here in the agenda, and we use it to pay our monthly services.
Any questions, comments? All right, let's go on to number 10.
Thank you.
Number 10 is discuss the purchase of diagnostic trainers for the diesel mechanic program. Mr. Cesar Vela.
Yes, members of the Finance and Audit Committee meeting. The next item is to request that the board approve the purchase of multiplex network diagnostic trainers from Toolkit Technologies in the amount of $186,350. The purchase is being done through the interlocal purchasing system, TIPS contract number 210902. The multiplex network trainers are educational tools that will be used in the diesel technology and automotive training programs to help our students understand, diagnose, and repair modern vehicle electrical systems, especially the multiplex networks. Included in your board packet is a copy of the quote, and it has a description of the trainers that will be purchased. The funding for the purchase is coming from the general operating budget under the transportation technology equipment line item.
Okay, questions? All right, let's go on to number 11. Discuss the purchase of truck driving simulators for the CDL program. Mr. Cesar Vela.
Yes, this next item is that the board approve the purchase of a CDL truck simulator in the amount of $122,000 from Mirage Simulation. The purchase is being made using Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Contract number 4895. The funding for this purchase is coming from the JET grant from the Texas Workforce Commission. This CDL truck simulator will be used to provide training instruction in the truck driving program. We currently own already 3 of these simulators, so this will add to another one to the CDO program. If you have not seen one or used one, I highly recommend that you visit the South Campus. I got the opportunity to test it out,
And
and needless to say, it is very, very realistic.
it is.
I knocked down a couple of traffic signs in the process. So I highly recommend it that whenever you get a
Yeah,
chance,
to
go
go
visit
out
the
there and
South
see.
Campus and see this equipment.
It is. It's
On
really,
this,
I bet it's fun.
traffic truck driving simulator, how popular is it with our, in the training?
Your microphone, sir.
It's, oh, okay, I thought it was on. I'm sorry. What's, and do you have an average of number of students that are enrolled in truck driving classes or things of that nature? We, of course, we are aware that on a daily basis, in 18-wheeler traffic that cross both sides, well, it's anywhere from 18 to 20,000 on a daily basis. That's my understanding. So there's a tremendous amount for good drivers of 18-wheelers. And obviously, there's also a demand for it. But I would like to see how are we doing ourselves in that truck driving classes there at the South Campus?
Yes, sir. Good evening, committee members. Heriberto Hernandez, Associate Provost. So roughly right now, we have about 25 students currently in the program. It's a
Excellent.
5-week program, so it's a continual rotation. We're limited based on the amount of instructors we have and the amount of students that we can take on at once. But the popularity of these simulators is very good because students get to start off with the simulators. It eases their tension a little bit before they get into the into the big trucks, right? So it's very popular, it's very realistic, and you get to go through different scenarios: snow, rain, all those different environments that you won't see here.
Loaded, unloaded. Loaded, unloaded.
Loaded, unloaded, yes, you had different type of trailers, trucks. So it is a very good tool for us, and we've been lucky that we've been able to acquire more and more.
Excellent.
Yes, sir.
Great.
That sounds
Thank you.
interesting. That sounds like it would
Yeah.
be fun to.
And
to
this is
play.
being paid for through a Texas Workforce Commission JET grant, as were the other three. And so we're very fortunate to be able to get one more. The idea is to have a full simulator lab
Yeah.
that then,
A whole
can
class
can create more. Right now, we got a presentation yesterday. We're averaging about 60 CDL licenses a year. Their goal this year is to get that up to about 100.
Wow.
And so hopefully we have 2 full-time instructors, 2 part-time instructors. And so so every 5 weeks, we turn over 25 students praying that they pass, right? So
Right.
the great thing is they can take their test and not have to wait for 60 or 90 days to get an actual
get-
appointment at the DPS office. So we now have the capacity to test on site. We have certified people that can do that, certified by DPS, and so that helps the
Yeah.
program along. But the simulators are a critical factor to this program and the ability to finish the program in 5 weeks. We also have a reduced price, a discounted price. So for the 5 weeks, it's $2,500, and that includes the test. And then we have the bus driver training as well, which is the Class B, and that program is $1,000. And so, so the program is functioning extremely well. But having another simulator or we'd like to have at least 5 or 6 full-time simulators working at
Yeah.
the same time. It really does help the students get through the program faster
Excellent. Thank you.
without hurting anyone.
Very good.
That'd be, it sounds interesting. Any other questions or comments? All right, let's go into number 12, discuss the purchase of a multiplex network diagnostic trainers for the automobile technology program.
Yes, members of the committee, this item is similar to the one for the diesel program. This is now for the automotive technology program. And again, we are requesting that the board approve the purchase of multiplex network diagnostic trainers from Toolkit Technologies in the amount of $241,130. Again, the purchase is being made using the interlocal purchasing system, TIPS contract number 210902. The diagnostic trainers are tools that will be used in both the diesel technology and automotive training programs to help the students understand and diagnose and repair modern electrical systems, especially those multiplex network systems. The funding for the program is coming from the 2026 Transportation Technology Equipment line item. And again, it is in the approved general operating budget.
Good. Any comments on that? All right, let's go on to number 13. Discuss the purchase of conference room furniture for the Yuri and Zaffarini Library. Mr. Cesar Vela?
Yes,
With-
board members, the next item is to approve the purchase of furniture in the amount of $109,719.97. The purchase is being made from Kimball International using the Omnia Cooperative Buying Group contract R240108. The furniture being purchased is additional seating and meeting desks that will be used to furnish rooms in both the Yuri and Zaffarini libraries. And these are meeting rooms for our students. That's also for collaboration purposes. The funding is coming from the general operating budget, and it is under the library services budget.
Any questions or comments? None? All right, let's go on to number 14. Discuss the ratification of online subscription services for the Yeri and Zaffarini libraries.
Yes, Madam Chair, this item is requesting that the board ratify the purchase order from EBSCO Information Services in the amount not to exceed 160,000. These are the annual services for the library services. The services and subscriptions include academic research databases, ebook purchases, digital magazines, journals, subject-specific courses, off-campus authentication, usage and analytics, and access and discovery services. Again, these are for the databases that are utilized by both the Yuri and Zaffarini libraries. And again, this is an annual item,
Yep.
and we're asking that the board ratify the.
Any questions, comments? None. All right, let's go on over to the next one, which is agenda item number 15. Discuss the annexation of property which has been annexed by the city of Laredo.
Yes, Madam Chair, this next item, we are going to ask that the board adopt a resolution annexing property that has been annexed by the city of Laredo. And this is for college district purposes. On or about March the 3rd, 2025 and June 2nd, 2025, the city of Laredo annexed new property. They annexed 4 tracts of land. Tract number 5, which is all carriers tract, and that is approximately 8.5 acres of land. Tract number 6, Zuniga tract, and that is 13.49 acre tract property. Tract number 7, Bastrop RM investment tract, and that is approximately 120.32 acres of land. And the final one was tract number 1, Saldaña tract, and that is approximately 3, I believe it's 3 lots. Lot number 2, lot number 3, and lot number 4. And I believe that the total acreage for that, if I'm not misreported,
I don't think we put it.
it's not listed here, but it was, it is on your packet.
Yes.
But there were 3 lots that were annexed as part of that tract. Again, we are going to be asking at the tomorrow's board meeting that the board adopt a resolution annexing this property as annexed by the city of Laredo.
And in total, how many acres does it amount to?
That's a good question. I
Is
would-
it 8? It's not 8.55. That's only tract 5.
That's only one.
That's only one. So
We're looking.
So you're looking at about 142 just on those.
Just
three-
on those.
Three tracks. I don't have the acreage for those 3 blocks,
Right.
the Saldaña tract, but I can get you that
No,
information.
that's okay. That's okay. All right, and basically we'll be getting tax monies from there, am I correct?
So
We
yes,
annexed it.
this property will
Which is-
be added to next year's tax rolls.
Yes,
The rendering in the packet indicates it's 6 acres, but it's not described, the number of acres aren't identified in the resolution.
Right.
It might be 6 acres.
well, I don't know, because the first one is 8.55, track number 5, track number 6 is 13.49, track number 7 is 120.32, and the one that doesn't tell you exactly how many is track 1 because they're lots.
And that might be 6 acres, that,
The 3
yes, ma'am.
would be
I think
about
so.
6 acres,
I think so.
so,
Yeah, that is correct. Each lot is 2 acres.
yeah.
Yeah, it is identified in the documents that
Yeah.
are included by the city.
Good. All right, any questions, comments? All right, number 16, discuss the resolution requesting that the Laredo College Board of Trustees approve the submission of a grant application for a total of $783,833 in grant funding by the Laredo College Grant Office for the 2026-2028 Laredo College Police Department Border Crisis Equipment Enhancement Project to the State of Texas Office of the Governor, Homeland Security, and Public Safety. Mr. Gabe Lozano.
Yes, ma'am.
Aye.
Members of the, Madam Chair, members of the committee, Gabriel Lozano, Director of Grants. These, actually, there's two, 16 and 17, but I know they sound the same. It's from the same agency, from the State of Texas Governor's Office. Just to tell you a little bit about this first one, it's almost $800,000 for equipment for our police department to be able to react to, God forbid, any type of mass casualty incident, terroristic threat type of incident. This grant is specifically for that, so we're gonna apply for $783,000, and that basically has preventative equipment. It has, when there's a large gatherings, which we have on our campus, some of it that we're putting in there are barriers that you put so the vehicles can't drive to where the people are congregated. That's just one example. There's also trailers and all these types of triage, equipment. So something that hopefully we can get at least part of it to help us deal with any, God forbid, any type of incident like that. So.
Okay.
And we have to bring this before the board. There's no cash match or anything, but they require a resolution that's approved by the board. So.
Perfect. Any questions? All right. And number 17 also goes hand in hand with that. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am, but it's separate. It's
Okay.
Separate. You still
And
have,
that's
you have to.
discuss the resolution requesting that the Laredo College Board of Trustees approve the submission of a grant application for a total of $113,099 in grant funding by the Laredo College Grant Office for 2026-2027 Laredo College Police Department bullet-resistant components for law enforcement vehicles project to the State of Texas Office of the Governor, Homeland Security, and Public Safety Office.
I apologize for the redundancy.
It's okay.
We have to word all the long way, right? The long
It's
version,
okay.
so. But this is a similar grant. It's a different program, but this one is specifically for retrofitting our patrol vehicles with bulletproof components. So basically, they replace the windows, the panels, they reinforce them. The glass is special. It's mostly the front area, right, to protect the drivers.
The premise.
And it's going to be the same company or set of companies that the DPS uses. I don't know if you all knew this, but all the DPS units that you see, they're all bulletproof equipped, right? That's how they come. So the goal would be to use the same vendors that they use if we're funded. So this would, I think it's going to pay for the retrofit of 9 vehicles. And also we're hoping to see how much we can get. Hopefully we get 100%. And that covers a good amount of our fleet, not the whole
Yeah,
thing, but
which is good.
yes, ma'am.
I think it's something we hope we don't need, but you never know.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Any questions, comments? Number 18?
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Discuss the donor requested matching funds for the Raymond and Melba Gutierrez Endowment.
Yeah.
Mr. Rene Gonzalez?
He's not here today, Madam
Not here.
Chair.
Okay,
But I will, so we received a donation from Mr. Albert Laurie of $35,000 and 25 of which is going into the endowment, and we would like permission to match. And so that would make the donation 50,000, 10 of which we're spending immediately, and then the other 25 going into the endowment.
okay.
Okay?
That's very nice of Mr. Lowry.
No,
Yes.
very, very generous, very generous.
Yeah.
All right, any questions?
Mm-mm.
And
Can
almost
we,
the last,
excuse me for
almost,
interrupt,
yes,
may I say
yes.
something? are we sending a thank you or
Yeah,
things of
good.
that nature?
Good.
Yes,
little
that
cookies?
is taken, yeah, we
We-
do, yes.
We're
The-
very grateful that he's coming through, and I think we ought to properly respond.
Dr. Ortiz's office sends a response immediately and thanking them, and then I send them one as well from the president's office and the board of trustees.
Excellent.
And yes, they'll
And a
get
little
cookies.
gift for Christmas?
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
Good.
you very much.
Good.
If I could add, Dr. Ortiz, for the record, and she might have mentioned already that much of the monies that we used recently was for the boots for the workforce program, not only in welding, HVAC, not only in welding,
HVAC and electrical.
welding, HVAC, and some of the workforce programs.
Good.
Mhm.
We welcome that.
Yes.
Number 19, discuss the updates on lab fees and liability fees. Dr. Marisela Rodriguez Tijerina.
Marisela Rodriguez Tijerina, Provost Vice President of Academic Affairs. Good evening, Madam Chair, Judge Martinez, Dr. Ramirez, and colleagues. I'm here to present the annual approval of our lab fees and liability fees. So again, as a reminder, every time we have curriculum committee meetings and there's changes to the courses, as you can see from the document that I have uploaded and in your packets, any course that was added is identified in blue coloration. Anything that is deleted is in red. I will point out that in our submissions of the bachelor's degree for data analytics, our Bachelor of Applied Technology in Data Analytics, we had to also submit an Associate of Applied Science in Data Analytics in order to get approved. And so in the last submission or last year, I didn't present the rubric ITDA. And that is a new rubric that will be added for the applied science degree. Now, it already got approved by the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board. We are pending SAC COC approval. So the goal is still, if everything goes very smoothly, to launch it fall of 2026. I'm looking at Dr. Martinez because we're crossing our fingers that it goes
That it
really
goes
smooth
through.
and that it gets approved. So the
And
first,
this is for a new program?
right, for the
The
third
Data
bachelor's
Analytic
degrees?
Associates?
Yes. So we're going to offer an Associate of Applied Science as well as our third bachelor's degree in applied technology.
Very good.
So the first one was the lab fees, and then of course, the second component to this is the student liability insurance fees. So anytime we send our students outside of campus, then we incur a liability insurance because they are off our grounds. And we need to protect them in the practical work that they're performing in our community.
Very good.
Very good.
Any questions, comments? No? Well, it looks like we're done.
We
You
move, we
wanna-
adjourn.
We adjourned.
Yes. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. That wasn't too bad.
No.